Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are doing Magnum Madness Part 8. We are getting closer and closer to crowning the best Magnum. And in today's video, we're going to compare the 338 Winchester Magnum to the 375 H&H Magnum. Now, you might be thinking this is kind of an apples to oranges comparison, but I promise this comparison is going to be closer than you think. I hope you guys enjoy the video. The 338 Winchester Magnum was introduced in 1958. The parent case is actually the cartridge we're going to be comparing it to, the 375 H&H Magnum. Now, this cartridge has been shortened compared to the 375 H&H, so it does fit a standard length action. The case length is 2.5 inches, and the cartridge overall length 3.340, so the same as a 30-06. Some of the smaller bullets you can shoot with Hornady is the 185 grain. I know Barnes, you can shoot a 160 grain bullet, which is pretty impressive. And then, the 200 grain, it's moving at 3,000 feet per second. A lot of people are using the 225 grain, and Interbond is a great hunting bullet. That's going 2,800 plus feet per second. And then the bullet weight I want to compare to the 375 today is in the 250 grain weight. And as you can see, it's going 2,700 feet per second. So when Winchester introduced this cartridge, they termed it as the Alaskan cartridge. And I think it's a pretty darn good Alaskan cartridge. The 375 Holland & Holland Magnum, really the granddaddy of all Magnums. It really is the parent case to the vast majority of Magnums, and probably all of the Belton Magnums, including the 338 Win Mag. Let me just show you just the difference between the two. Okay, so the 338 basically has the same type of case head. And at the bottom of the case, it has the same diameter. However, one of the differences, 338 Win Mag is not as tapered. For example, at the shoulder, this one measures 0.448. The 338 Win Mag is 0.491. And then the big difference is that the 338 Win Mag is only 2.5 inches long, while the 375 is 2.850. So it has a Magnum length action, like most of the Weatherbys do, and it provides power that basically can kill any animal on this planet. It's quite versatile. You can shoot, a 225 grain bullet, well over 2,800 feet per second, a 250 around 2,750. Some of the bigger bullets, the 270 grain, going 2,700. And the biggest bullet that you can shoot with Hornady is a 300 grain going 2,500 feet per second. So it's a big bullet, heavyweight, wider diameter, going at some pretty darn good velocities for how big this bullet is. Now, before I show you the ballistics and the downrange performance for both of these, I talked about in the beginning that this comparison isn't an apple to oranges as you might think. They're actually pretty close in performance. So let me show you the bullets we're going to be comparing today. We're going to be using Nosler bullets. So with the 338 Win Mag, we're going to use the AccuBond bullet with a very good BC of 0.575. And again, this bullet's going to be going around 2,700, maybe a little bit more. Let me show you the 375 now. Okay, we're at the 375. We are going to use a 260 grain bullet, the AccuBond. And surprisingly enough, it has an okay BC, certainly better than your Partition or your Solid, which is pretty abysmal BCs. Again, the 375 is really not meant for long range. And then the velocities, we're going to get in mid 2,700 feet per second. So let me show you the ballistic chart and we're going to see how close they are. Let's first look at the 338 Win Mag with a 250 grain AccuBond, the BC 0.575. Muzzle velocity, we're just going to put it at 2,700. You might be able to get a little more. That's about where you're going to get. Impressive energy out the muzzle. mid 4,000 foot-pounds, 4,047 foot-pounds of energy. Recoil. So how the recoil is measured is basically the foot-pounds of energy that's going to come back on your shoulder without a muzzle brake, with roughly around an 8 to a 9 pound rifle. So that's 33. So it's quite stout. Let's just take this out and see how it does out to, say, like 400 yards. Okay. And it's a good one. Going 2111 feet per second. Energy almost 2,500 foot-pounds. And the drop is only 30.67 inches when you zero it at 100 yards. All right, so for drop, 200 yards, 3.89 inches, 300, 13.84, and 400, as I said, 30.67. So try to remember those. We're going to soon show you what the 375 does. Now on to the 375 H&H Magnum with a 260 grain AccuBond, BC of 0.473. And the velocity you're going to get is around 2750. You might be able to get a little more, maybe close to 2800, possibly. Energy at the muzzle, 4367. So it's a heavy hitter. Recoil is also pretty heavy too, 37. And then let's just take this out to 400. Yeah, I know you're not going to most likely shoot an animal at 400 yards with a 375. But with this AccuBond, it's not as bad as you'd think. The velocity at 400 yards is 2,037 feet per second. So there's like a 75 feet per second difference between the 338 Win Mag. Energy, 2,395 foot-pounds, so less than 100 foot-pounds. And here's the incredible thing. With the 375 shooting a big bullet, you would think there's going to be a lot more drop than a 338 Win Mag, but it's basically identical. The difference is so small that it's not even worth saying there really is a difference. So they're really close in performance. The ballistics are really close to each other, using bullets that are kind of close in BC. So you only see the 338 Win Mag really pulling ahead, going past 300 yards, and it's not that big of a difference, as I said, within 100 foot-pounds at 400 yards. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know which cartridge you're going to vote for. Please make a comment below. Do you want the 338 Winchester Magnum to move on, or the 375 H&H Mag? Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.